Hello and welcome back. I'm so excited to present to you all the next installment here at Emily's Reading Corner, where I sit in the corner of my house and read. And now we're going to read Emma, and I'm so excited to read Emma. Heard so much about it. This one has like a really cool introduction, and there's a section that says tips for reading Emma. Listen to this. It does say, in spite of Austen's great popularity, reading one of her novels for the first time isn't necessarily easy or enjoyable. I have not found that the case. It is definitely difficult. And I think that's why I started making these videos to like share in the difficulty. Because I started reading Pride and Prejudice and I just was like laughing at myself. Like, how are these sentences so long? And how come I couldn't write sentences that were that long in high school? I would have gotten in trouble. Let me share the advice I give my own students and friends who are embarking on Emma. The first bullet point says, pace yourself. If you're reading for your own pleasure, take it a chapter at a time. Done that. The second one says, read passages aloud. Doing that. Try an audiobook. If you're feeling frustrated or bored because nothing much seems to be happening, remember that Austen's own contemporaries commented on how little plot Emma contains and how ordinary its characters and events are. Concentrate on another element for a while. Uses Austen's use of language, perhaps, or her descriptions of characters' thought patterns. Reread parts of Emma that interested or frustrated you the first time around. Long novels such as Austen's are a workout for our attention spans and memories. That's what I've been saying. This attention span, the issue that we all have. Most of us miss things even if we're trying not to. Also, lovers of Austen will say that the greatest pleasure is to be found in rereading her work, which I definitely would like to already do again, when you notice new details and think about the novel in a new way. It says, if you've finished Emma and are still not sure why it's considered such a wonderful novel, I recommend an essay by the late, great crime novelist P.D. James. Love a name that is two abbreviations and a last name. P.D. James. The crime novelist wrote an essay called Emma Considered as a Detective Story, which is reprinted in James's Time to Be in Earnest, a fragment of autobiography, which that whole title doesn't make any sense to me. James approaches Emma as a mystery, pointing out all the clues Austen drops regarding plot secrets and characters' feelings, which I love, since I have been reading Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. Her essay offers a lovely way to appreciate Emma through the eyes of the 20th century admirer and fellow author. I also was getting into some guy's work, and I can't remember his name, some British English lit guy, and he read the novel through the lens of, is Emma ever right about anything that she predicts? Which I love that also. So hopefully we can read some of this through that lens, Emma, through those lenses. This is a beautiful introduction, and I won't read it all. I'll start the first chapter in my next video, but I just wanted to plug through this book and introduce ourselves to this book. In the back here are actual suggestions for further exploration, film, and television adaptations. Clueless, Emma, again, Emma with Gwyneth Paltrow, Emma Approved, which is a YouTube series created by Bernie Sue, Miss Austen Regrets. I just watched a movie called, it's a documentary. I just watched a documentary called The Many Lovers of Jane Austen, which is so fun because it makes it seem like she just had lovers her whole life, but just us readers. And and they found a manuscript, or some museum or something had a manuscript of this book she was reading on before she died called The Watsons, which I had never heard this before. And the person, they were going to auction off this manuscript. And the auctioneer or whoever they are said that they were probably going to get like £200,000 to £300,000 for it. And they ended up getting like £800 for this manuscript, £800,000 for this manuscript. Somebody just has £800,000 to blow on a manuscript, a handwritten manuscript of a incomplete novel of Jane Austen. Who are these people? And this book also has line drawings. This is from 1898. Little hand line drawings, very cute. So it's cool. Oh, this is like a Emma. That's cool. These are cool pictures. Oh yeah, and the dedication page, the first English edition of Emma, published by John Murray in 1816, to His Royal Highness the Prince Regent. This work is, by His Royal Highness's permission, most respectfully dedicated by His Royal Highness's dutiful and obedient humble servant, the author. Wow. Just pictures of things. Pictures of, like, the novel. That's cool. First edition. First American edition. It's cool. I just didn't even know books were like this. I just have never really picked up or paid attention to like annotations or books like this. There's also there's also a map, which is very cool. Because I kind of thought she lived in like Bath for a really long time, but she like ended up in Chawton, I know I'm not saying that right, which is like way down here, and Bath is over here, and cool to see little maps of things. There are also contextual essays in the back about dancing and family relationships and food. With so many scenes of Emma set indoors amid the routines of daily life, it is no surprise that meals and food items appear frequently, beyond the oatmeal-like thin gruel in which Mrs. Woodhouse places his trust. Oh, Mr. Woodhouse places his trust. Austen shows us realistic glimpses of how the gentry would eat and entertain. Oh, lunch did not exist. That's interesting. Breakfast and dinner were the main daytime meals, as we see when Harriet is in the habit of coming to Hartfield soon after breakfast, staying a while and going home to return again to dinner. The times of breakfast and dinner were chosen by a family to suit their habits. We need to bring it back. We need to bring this way of living back. And my favorite part of this book is that there is a glossary. If the meaning of an unfamiliar word can reasonably be discerned from its context, I haven't added a gloss. With the goal of forestalling confusion, I've included as many words as possible that look familiar to us, but that in Austen's usage mean something quite different from what we expect. Multiple glosses on a single word. For example, fancy. Account for a range of meanings. A word that Austen repeats frequently has page references approximately once per volume. Also identified are proper names not included on the maps. So this would have been very helpful for me because I love to look up words. So I will be doing that a lot during this. There is also, this book is like training wheels for Americans. This book has training wheels. So it does say, this does say, spelling in Emma. Present-day American readers can sometimes be thrown off by instances of apparently irregular spelling. I was all show and show, S-H-E-W and S-H-O-W, it's the same word. As I discuss in the introduction, the usage that appeared in the first edition of the novel, from which this text is drawn, resulted from the efforts of two different printers to regularize Austen's notoriously idiosyncratic spelling. So that's fun. That, like, buffet is spelled B-E-A-U-F-E-T. So this will be very handy for me. She also said that where was it? Where she said, "This isn't for like literary scholars. This isn't like a scholarly book. This is like a beginning like fan of Jane Austen. Like there will be no like debating or concepts or anything like that." It's really funny. Beautiful, privileged Emma Woodhouse considers herself to have an enviable life, golly, secure in the affection of her family and the respect of her fellow villagers. With her active imagination, she charms others and diverts herself. When change comes to Emma's little world, she confidently intervenes in matters of the heart, only to discover for the first time the limits of her powers. She's a witch. Often considered Jane Austen's finest novel, Emma is acclaimed in particular for its psychologically astute characterizations and peerless use of language. Okay, this is what it says. This edition has been specially prepared in commemoration of the 200th anniversary of the publication of Emma, to offer a full reading experience to first-time readers and devoted fans alike. Juliet Wells has provided an introduction to the novel, focusing on the importance of Emma to Austen's career and the reception of this novel by its first readers and original contextual essays. Additional features include tips for reading, a glossary of period usage, maps, and suggestions for further study, as well as illustrations from early editions of Emma drawn on the Jane Austen collection at Goucher College. And there is a little thing here by Walter Scott in the Quarterly Review from March 1816. We therefore bestow no mean compliment upon the author of Emma when we say that, keeping close to common incidents and to such characters as occupy the ordinary walks of life, she has produced sketches of such spirit and originality that we never miss the excitation which depends upon a narrative of uncommon events arising from the consideration of minds, manners, and sentiments greatly above our own. In this class, she stands almost alone. Where was it? I feel like there was a part that I was reading in this that was like, I didn't support. Okay. This edition is designed to help. You poor American readers. This is designed to help. It's a reader's edition, not a scholarly one. In other words, the information you'll find here is intended to support your understanding and appreciation of Emma, rather than to instruct you in literary terms, theoretical perspectives, or critical debates. There's nothing, yeah, this is very much my pace. Although I would love to get there eventually one day. In choosing what to include, I've borne in mind what I've heard the students from and others over the years about what has intrigued and frustrated them in reading this novel. I mean, I think this person who like did the introduction for this edition is like a Jane Austen scholar. There's like Elizabeth Bronte scholars who like dedicate their whole lives to this. And in that movie too that I watched, The Lovers of Jane Austen, there's a part where they talk about how her work became so popular, and it was because they introduced it to like stations at like railway stations, so that the whole like the populace was able to read it, and not just like people who knew about Jane Austen and then chose to read the books. Like it just got out to the masses through these train stations, so everybody started reading her. And what an incredible woman. I mean, they basically, it's like her and Shakespeare are on the same. Makes me kind of want to get into Shakespeare, but kind of not. I don't know. He seems cool, like a cool dude. I think I should get into him, but that's like, talk about another language. That would be like a whole new thing. So join me. This is the 200th anniversary annotated Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition. Join me as I embark on the journey through Emma. If you would like to hear me read Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, or I just finished Mansfield Park, You can go back and listen to those as well. But we shall be, God, look at this, is just like notes. I mean, these people are obsessed. These are pages and pages of notes. You guys are obsessed. Love to go to Jane Austen Festival in Bath. There's a Jane Austen Festival, North American Society. Jane Austen is doing one in Baltimore this year in October. Would love to go. Okay, join me. Ooh, I'm so excited. And again, I get those little butterflies of like, this is so intimidating and I want to get it. And I know I'll just have to reread it. And it's going to be so fun to like, I'm going to try and read it like a detective because I love detective work. Love detective work. I love to like try and figure out what's going on in a movie before it happens. That's my favorite. So I'll probably be predicting stuff. My predictions from Mansfield Park were incorrect, I think. And also, I will be reading it through that lens of, is Emma ever correct? Is she ever right in her matchmaking slash meddling? Fun. All right. Intro done. Join me next time for chapter 1 of Emma. Woo! Ta-ta and happy reading!